We've got an elimination showdown, yes, indeed, versus our very own Mr. Dino and Zarconis. This is a second round, second chance bracket matchup. The winner will move on to the third round to take on either Fire Broth or Ares Fire Tiger, and the loser will be, unfortunately, eliminated from the competition.
So what you're saying is the winner of this match will face somebody with the name Fire in it.
Absolutely right, Sigma. I didn't really think about that until you said something, but you are absolutely right. They're going to be on fire one way or the other.
Yep. And I don't know if Mr. Dino could hear us, but maybe after this match, we can have a replay. We could end the stream with that CHX run. Because if you weren't here earlier, we need to show you that run. It is truly something to behold.
Oh, absolutely. And the pop-off is one of the best that you will ever see in any of speedrunning. I'm going to get both of these runners ready. Normally, Mr. Dino would do the countdown, but because he's in the competition, I am going to be the flag holder here. So we're going to count them down.
All right. And as Cards counts them down, this will be game number 1 in a best of 5 for these two fantastic runners. Mr. Dino versus Zarconis. May the best runner win. Good luck. You'll need it.
They most certainly will, Sigma. Here we go. Game number 1 of this best of 5 showdown between Mr. Dino and Zarconis. On paper, you would think Mr. Dino would have the advantage, but I'll tell you what, Zarconis is coming in strong. As I mentioned, improving that PB down to a 606. You know, we've already had 2 runners get a sub 6 during the tournament. Could we have a third? That would be amazing.
I think it's very possible if these 2 runners, both of them been putting in the work. And you got to think, law of averages, that hard work will be rewarded. And it looks like both of them are going to be dead even going into the next room. That's something you'd love to see.
Yeah, they are about as dead even going into collect power-ups as they can be, Sigma. I'm telling you what, this first drop, I want to see them both get the same drop. How about a first drop orb for both? Huh? Wouldn't that be great? Let's see what we get. We've got rockets and invulnerability. It is advantage for Zarconis.
And rockets for Mr. Dino. Zarconis is just going to ride the rockets. Gonna ignore the spreader. I think that's the smart play there in this room. He does get feet though, but Mr. Dino does get a rocket reload.
Yeah, back-to-back rockets for Mr. Dino might swing the lead in his favor. Depends on who had the better firing, and it is definitely Mr. Dino. No orb, but does have an 83-second time going into Eat My Shrapnel. Meanwhile, Zarconis struggling here. Didn't really get anything else to complement that rocket. No orb, so he's already going to be double digits back, 11 seconds back into Eat My Shrapnel. 18 of the Mr. Shrapnel dudes that we have to take down. A maximum of 4 can be on the screen at any given point. Zarconis gets an orb, but that's already going to be a time penalty because you saw that there were 4 on the screen at one point. So even though he's got the orb, but he loses the orb immediately and Dino gets rockets, he still has not gotten an orb, Sigma.
Commentator's curse right there for you, Cards. But Mr. Dino's playing it smart. As you see, he doesn't have any more grunts left, so he takes the razor shield, kills it off immediately so he doesn't waste time going through the door.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a time penalty if you go through the door with a razor shield still intact. Speaking of razor shield, gets another razor shield, does Dino, and Zarconis is now almost 17 seconds back. Neither player has an orb, but Zarconis is going to need to either get an orb soon or he's going to need the weapon quality to start flowing for him. Not good weapons right now for Mr. Dino. Back-to-back grenades, does finally get his first orb, and this could be huge. He could start to pull away by 30-plus seconds if Zarconis doesn't get that replacement orb.
Well, he's got rockets, so that's going to help out a little bit. It's not going to help out too much, though. However, that is a good nuke on the feet, and there is still a spawn out, so that's going to help out, and it's more rockets. He's going to ride these rockets. He can still cut a little bit into the lead.
Yeah, he can mitigate the time damage by having these rockets here. You're absolutely right, Sigma. But more rockets now for Mr. Dino. And if this is the end of the room, oh, this is going to be great. He's got half a clip of rockets to take with him to tank trouble. He is going to be in great shape to take out the gunners as the drops have now dried up for Zarconis. It's a key.
Razor Shield's going to help out a little bit, though, at the tail end of this room. But that's 3 gunners he still has to take care of. And by the time he gets cleared out, he's going to waste even more time getting into the room. And even though he's in the room at the same time, Mr. Dino gets out at a 337. He's got rockets. He's just going to burn off the rest of this clip, clear out the gunners, clear whatever he can, get the rocket reload, and he's just going to rock it out.
Now, I will say this much for Zarconis. He only lost about 2 seconds in total carnage despite not having an orb. That's because the weapon quality was better on his side. But Mr. Dano getting rockets upon more rockets here in tank trouble. Where is this when you've got a 2-4X going into this room, huh?
Just ask CHX. We'll see that later.
Exactly. A little bit of foreshadowing of things to come here for those who don't know what happened. As Zarconis finally gets a replacement, but he is getting overpowered here. Yeah, no chance he was going to keep that orb. Mr. Dano with a 420 going into Mutoid Man. He is in good shape here to take game number 1.
And a smart play there. He's going to try to go for the ball buster first. He does get it. You see a spreader down there. He's going to like to throw some more lobber shots, get that in, and then try to go for manual on that right side, which is a good play, but when you're dealing with both gunners, it's easy to get picked off, and that's what happened to him. He got picked off by one of the gunner shots.
Yes, he sure did. Yeah, you can either get picked off by the gunners, or you can get vibrated rather easily when you try to do the manuals. But here's a great chance for Mr. Down to do some serious damage. Zarconis is about 50 seconds back. He's going to need Mr. Dano to get dry on the drops, and several of them in a row. There's a spreader, but that's just not a good location for it, to take the intentional, try to get that extra damage there. Dino's already on the penultimate form here, the head popping off. Zarconis cannot get to the grenade. He does get one of the arms popped off, and he gets a lobber.
Lobber is fine, but his main problem is he hasn't killed any of the gunners, which you can do this against the gunners. It just requires a lot of fancy footwork.
Lobber's down for Mr. Dano. Did go quite a while before the next weapon. Final form now for Mr. Dano. There's a spreader. That's the worst drop in the final form. Both arms popped off for Zarconis, but this is going to be way too little, way too late. But Trolltoid Man's final form. Okay, Dino does get these grenades, which, he gets run over, so gonna have to get one more drop. This should do it, provided he does not get run over. There it is.
And he's gonna be out at around 625. Fair play to Zarconis. Got the spreader late. Put up a valiant effort. Some good manualing there, as you can see. But unfortunately, it's too little too late.
Yeah, it's too little too late. Just way too far back. Gets some grenades now. Final form for Zarconis. Yeah, he's gonna potentially cut into Mr. Dino's lead, but when you're 50 seconds back going into the Mutoid Man fight, that's just too much to ask for. Then they'll have to use a continue, unfortunately. We'll see if he decides to finish it up or just wave the white flag. He'll finish it up.
Zarconis is a trooper. He'll finish it up. He doesn't like to leave any gate runs on the table.
No, not at all. And does finish off the fight. And he is going to gain a smidgen of time on Mr. Dino's 50-some seconds, but that's not even close to enough. Zarconis going to have to clean up that arena gameplay in game number 2. Mr. Dino looked pretty good, especially when he had no orb for like the first half of that run. So Mr. Dino off to a good start. He's up 1-0.
That's right. And we're gonna get ready for round 2. Cards is gonna load it up. Just want to tell you about some upcoming matches that's gonna be happening on GG Speedruns here for Smash TV. By the way, you don't have to wait too long to find out who is going to be taking on the winner of this match, because the Fire Broth versus Ares Fire Tiger match is going to happen tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern here on GG Speedruns. And then all throughout the week, we're going to have a lot of runs. Especially Sunday, we're going to have quite a few loaded up for you. So if you haven't already, be sure to follow GG Speedruns. Click that follow button. And if you want to help support this channel, hit the subscribe button. And we got some emotes for you and be good to go.
All right, I've counted down both runners. Here we go. Game number 2 between Mr. Dino and Zarconis. We'll see if Mr. Dino can take a commanding 2-0 lead, or if Zarconis can fight back and equalize.
And we're just going to let everybody know that there is a delay on the race. So if you see Mr. Dino finish first, we're going to wait the appropriate 6 seconds that he's ahead by. And we will clean it up that way.
Absolutely, but knowing Mr. Dano, he might even try to do it on the fly. He has a high 39, but it's a high 38 for Zarconis, so Zarconis has the whole shot going into collect power-ups if you go by time. So let's see what the first drop is. Grenades. Dino's going to pick it up, trying to fish for a better drop. Does so with the spreader. Zarconis gets a razor shield, not too bad, but you like to have something to go with that razor shield. Won't be able to get to that nuke. That razor shield's in his way, but nothing really to write home about for either runner now.
We're seeing a couple of schools of thought in this tournament. And it's kind of exciting as Mr. Dio does get his orb. Ooh, almost lost it there. You'll see people who will just continue to work on the grunts and everything, but then you're going to see other runners who will pick up every single drop they find in order to get lucky and get that orb either in the first 2 rooms that they are available. And, you know, it's that there's more than one way to skin a shrapnel in Smash TV, as we're finding out over in the course of this tournament.
Definitely, Sigma. All right, it's a 4-second lead now for Mr. Dino. It was 125 playing 129. Razor Shield for Zarconis should help with the foot soldiers, but that room is starting to get overwhelming with the Mr. Shrapnels. Whenever you got 4 on the screen, that's when you're going to get that time penalty. Still no orb, though, for Zarconis. Mr. Dino just has to finish off the shrapnel and does so very nicely done with a 208. Still nothing for Zarconis. Not getting great weapons. Finally gets the orb. He's going to bleed more time, though, just because he had 4 shrapnels on the screen for quite a while, but at least he's still in the running with a 217, 9 seconds back. Dino with some rockets.
And Razor Shield on the feet, that is fortuitous for Mr. Dino. And we're going to get a Razor Shield on Zarconis' end. And, well, once again, getting some good drops here. It's just a matter of the firing lanes. Can you keep them clean? Can you use them to the best advantage? And as you see right here, Mr. Dino doing a lot of movement, whereas Zarconis keeping those lanes clear. And he's going to gain a bit of that time back just by focusing on the lanes, which is pretty vital.
Watch out for that spreader. It's in a bad spot, but Zarconis is able to pick that off. Mr. Dino with a 303 still has the lead at the end of Total Carnage. But I'll tell you what, Zarconis has played a pretty good Total Carnage out of his own right, but still, Mr. Dino had a little bit better of a Total Carnage. That lead increases to 14 seconds. 316.
No, that was a few days ago.
Right? I totally got that one. We've been throwing down the 316 train for quite some time here at GG Speedruns. Nice nuke there for Dino to finish off the gunners here in tank trouble.
And he had spreaders on the feet, by the way, when he started this run, so he was able to take care of a couple of the shrapnels and one of the gunners that way. He's just looking for some rockets. Zarconis got the rockets, though, so he takes care of the gunners. He clears up these firing lanes. He's just got to be careful with the shrapnels, which he is able to. Sees another rocket, able to get it, avoids the tank fire, and with that rocket play, he kind of picked up some time there.
He very well might have, as long as he can keep that orb intact. It's a 414 for Mr. Dino going into the Mutoid Man, so he will once again have the lead going into that fight. But Zarconis doing a very good job keeping that orb healthy. Got a little bit close. He's getting very close. And he finally loses it there.
But this is like, well, he gets it right back and loses it again. That was just bad positioning right there.
And then to add insult to injury, he gets shrapnelled. Does get another replacement orb, but yeah, that time is a bleeding for Zarconis. He's going to be a lot closer this time than he was last time. It's a 441, so about 27 and a half seconds back. So Zarconis is in the running, but he's going to need to see some spreaders, and he needs to get the ball busters. Both arms have already popped off for Dino. More lobbers.
Zarconis gets the spreader. He decides to play it safe. Unfortunately, he played it too safe. He does lose the ball buster, though, and gets minimal effect of the spreader. That could come back to bite him.
Some runners, sorry about that, Sigma. Some runners might have gone, through the treads, when Mutoid Man goes down on the screen to try to get that extra manual spreader damage. Zarconis opted not to.
Now, that was something that we talked about this earlier in the day, and that is the new exploit that we have found. You're able to go inside Mutoid, and if you hit him in the center, that's actually triple damage, and that's what Mr. Dino was able to do with those rockets.
Nice.
Now, what you're hoping for is to be able to do it with spreaders. And now Zarconis is going to get a big play right here. This could catch him up a lot.
Oh, and an empty drop. He's only a form back. He's got lobbers waiting for him, but he's not going after them, and you'll take the def. If it's a spreader, he could take the lead. But it's a lobber instead. Both of them have the lobber, so Mr. Dino is still going to have the lead, but Zarconis has definitely gained some ground, but he's still a full form back. It's final form now for Mr. Dino. Zarconis needs another spreader right here. And Zarconis getting grenades. These lobbers should finish the job for Mr. Dino, but he's got to watch out for the Mr. Shrapnel, and there it is. Mr. Dino will take game number 2.
Yep, he's going to be out at a 647. And as we take a look at the screen, yeah, that'll do it. Zarconis has surpassed 647. And Mr. Dino will take a 2-game lead. Zarconis not too happy about that play.
Yeah, not at all. Again, roughly the same Mutoid Man fight. The slightly better for Mr. Dino this time around. It was a 6:47. Zarconis' time was 7:12, so that is a difference of 25 seconds. He was 17 and a half seconds back going in. So, yep, slightly better fight for Mr. Dino. But once again, Mr. Dino prevails and now is 1 game away from advancing to the 3rd round of the second chance bracket.
And I think what kind of cost Zarconis there was he got that spreader early. He could have died for it because it was away from the tread.
Yeah, most certainly was. I mean, if Zarconis would have used that spreader, and you go again, that might be some of the veteranship versus the one who may not be as seasoned with the Mutoid Man fight coming into play right there, because yes, it is a difficult strat to go inside the Mutoid Man like that with the spreader. But in any event, his back is against the wall, and now Zarconis needs to dig deep to try to get back to this match.
And he's got to win 3 on the trot in order to do it. But Zarconis is a gamer. He's never out of it when it comes to a race. Both racers are ready. They're going to get counted down by cards. And we're going to have the 3rd race in this best of 5. If Mr. Dino wins, he'll move on to face the winner of Ares, Fire Tiger, and Fire Broth. If little false start on the clock by Zarconis. And there we go. There's a little bit of delay, but you know what? Doesn't matter too much. We'll be able to keep up with the action. Everything's now lined up. And we're well underway with game number 3.
All right, and we are synced up. They both have their Razor Shield to start things off. Zarconis going for the south door strategy. Mr. Dino opting to stay in the middle. So we'll see how this plays out. It is going to be a hole shot for Mr. Dino by about a second, maybe a little bit less than a second. We've got 38 and a half and about a 39 and a quarter, so about 3/4 of a second of a lead, but those are 2 really, really good times out of Arena 1. Collect power-ups. Let's see if Zarconis can finally get some good drops here. He's been lacking here in this from the first 2 games.
And both racers will get nukes. Zarconis decided to use his and gets lucky, gets a spawn out, so no time penalty with the nuke and gets his orb. Mr. Dino's got spreaders, now picks up grenades. He is hunting for an orb.
So now we'll see how Zarconis fares with an orb in the till here and collect power-ups, because the first 2 games he did not have that kind of luxury. There's an orb for Mr. Dino here. He's going to pick that up to close the room. And it is still going to be Mr. Dino lead by just under a second. This is very close. You like to see that they both have the orb, but now can they keep it? That swirl, here it comes. Nice shot there for Zarconis and Dino. Weapons definitely favoring Mr. Dino right now.
Ooh, did you see that right there? He was able to have the swirl and the grunt. His orb and the grunt, they both interceded each other, and he was able to keep it. That is a fine piece of dancing right there for Mr. Dino.
Oh, absolutely. The veteran presence showing right here. It's a 206 and a 206 for Zarconis. That same less than a second lead for Mr. Dino, and rockets to start the room, followed by a razor shield for Zarconis. That's the start you want to see here. And if he can get some weapons to go with it, because Mr. Dino going to get a razor shield of his own, it's going to come down to weapon quality and better firing lane, Sigma.
That is true. And rockets Mr. Dino right in the one of the best spots you could have it in this room. So he's just going to fire at the doors, and was not sniped by the shrapnel. And I will tell this right now about the razor shield. While it's the best defensive weapon there is, the shrapnels are small enough when they explode can go through the razor shield. Trust me on this. This has happened to me quite a lot.
Yeah, I've seen this happen in tournament matches many times. Mr. Dino is going to come out of there. He had the better quality of weapons. It's a 301, but Zarconis not that far behind with 305, about 3.5 second lead. I think it's time for, Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell.
No, not really. It's what we had for lunch. For dinner, we're having something else.
What did we having for dinner there, Sigma?
Oh, taco time. Taco time. Pacific Northwest taco time.
Oh my God, you know, one of these times, you know, where I live, I'm in Wisconsin, we had a taco time, but I don't think I ate there too many times. Oh, Mr. Dino, oh, he did lose the orb at the last second. For a moment, I thought he made a great escape there, Sigma.
It was really close, but just before the nuke went off, the grunt went, tag, you're gone.
Speaking of getting tagged, Zarconis got tagged by a tank there, losing his orb and his life, and now they both are orbless.
Now it's just a matter of getting good drops. Ooh, Zarconis barely escapes the tank fire, gets rockets. Mr. Dino, oh.
The club down with a third of a rocket clip left. You hate to see that. There's a nuke for Zarconis to clear off the room, but he's not going to grab it right away. All right, so both of them struggling here in tank trouble as that shrapnel goes off. Another rocket set for Zarconis. It's a 425. We'll see what the damage is. The damage definitely done on Zarconis' side, but not too much, Sigma. He's only 8 seconds back. That's about one empty drop. Anybody's game.
And Mr. Dino using that lobber to good effect. He's on the back. Zarconis, okay, now he's going to the left-hand side for the spreader manual, which is a good play. Decides to say, okay, I'm going to keep my distance and take the lobber and try to do as much damage as I can. Catches up with Mr. Dino for...
And he's got the better weapon. Now he's just got to land the weapons and not get run over. But oh boy, that's dangerous, Sigma, but not going to get blocked. Zarconis is going to take the lead here with this spreader. And vulnerability.
Oh, that is a fantastic play. He is just going to keep on pounding away. And that's a full bunch.
If Ing gets a spreader right here, he's going to get sub 6. Ah.
Nope, wrong one. Needed the other one.
Oh, man.
Another.
And now he's getting sabotaged. Gets a lobber, though. Sub 6 dream is dead, but he could still win this game and stay alive. They're on the same form. It's still a Zarconis lead as he's on the final form with lobbers in tow, but he's missing a lot of shots, Sigma.
It's more... Right now, it's more of just keeping your distance from Mutoid, because you know how janky he can get in this form.
Not enough. The grenades should be enough, but watch out for the shrapnels. Zarconis wins.
Oh, look how close that was.
Oh man, Zarconis, by the skin of his teeth, wins game number 3, and we go to a 4th, Sigma. You'll love to see it. 619, 621, a second and a third.
That is just some fortuitous mutoid play by Zarconis. Was trailing, but got the better mutoid, was able to get a couple of spreaders, was able to use them to full effect, and we will be having game 4 in a moment's time.
Yeah, that was a fantastic Mutoid Man fight for both runners there. But Zarconis, yeah, making the comeback happen and able to erase that 8-second deficit, winning by a second and a third. And he lives to fight another day, but it is still match point for Mr. Dino here as game number 4 is coming up. I'll see if these runners are ready to go.
All right, and as they ready up, we'll let you know that we'll have more Smash TV action on Sunday as Tetsuo will take on Space Colonizer, and after that, it'll be Brysolf versus Oopla. So we're going to have some exciting matches coming up for you here on GG Speedruns. And right now, Cards is counting down Mr. Dino and Zarconis. This is game number 4, and whoever wins this will take on the winner of Fire Broth and Ares Fire Tiger. And both of our runners are ready to go, so we shall go.
We most certainly shall, Sigma. Game number 4, Zarconis taking that 3rd game to stay alive. We'll see if he could equalize and force the decider, or if Mr. Dino will punch his ticket into the next round in this game. Here we go.
Yeah, Mr. Dino had a little bit of disadvantage there to start because you had the grenade there right where you want to be shooting.
And because of that, it is going to be an ever so slight hole shot for Zarconis by maybe a quarter of a second.
Good luck. You'll need it.
First drop is going to be huge. And look at this, a first drop orb for Mr. Dino, the wrong circular shape there for Zarconis, and a huge advantage to start for Mr. Dino. Zarconis needs to get some drops here.
And a nuke is not it.
No, not in this room for sure.
He's going to take it anyways. He's got to try to force an orb to pop, either in this room or the next.
Yeah, definitely, because he's going to be fishing for one and eat my shrapnel again if we don't see one. But there it is. He needed to see that. The damage is already done. It is a 122 for Mr. Dino. Zarconis needs to keep that orb nice and... Ooh, getting a little bit flirtatious there with that orb. He is 12 seconds down, but it could have been a lot worse just then. Oh! How did he not die on that piece of the swirl there, Sigma?
Well, it died right in front of him, that's why.
Oh, that was a close call there for Zarconis. Oh, my word. Mr. Dino, meanwhile, has everything he needs to finish up this room. A razor shield, rockets. He is sitting pretty right now. Just one more left to go. There it is. It's a 205 for Mr. Dino. Zarconis just has to take down the rest of the Mr. Shrapnels, and he'll be on his way, too. He's got, I believe, one more after this. There it is. There it is. 217, about 12 and a half seconds back.
And rockets galore for both runners near the start of the good old Total Carnage room. Gotta take care of the firing lanes, make sure they're clean, make sure you're still in the center.
Oh, Zarconis had to do a lot of dancing there to keep that orb healthy. He's lost control of the middle. but he's trying to get it back. It looks like he's gotten the job done just about. Yes, he's gotten control of the middle again. Just not really getting any weapons. A late razor shield for Mr. Down. I think he's going to ignore it just because how late of the room this is. Absolutely no need to pick it up. And it's going to be a 303 for Mr. Dino out of total carnage. Zarconis holding his own, but just really not getting the weapons after that opening rocket. And he's going to bleed even more time here, Sigma.
Yep. And it's going to pick up a foot, which isn't going to do much, but that nuke could help. He was able to get it.
Yeah,
that was the end of the room.
At 324, he is 21 seconds back. He still kept the orb healthy, but Mr. Dino right now with a healthy-sized lead going into tank trouble, but not a good opening drop for Mr. Dino. If Zarconis can get opening rockets, he can cut into that lead.
That's right, as we see Mr. Dino, he is just trying to, lost the orb and lost his life before he's able to hit the nuke.
Ooh, bad luck there. Wanted to hit the nuke to take down that second gunner there, but got picked off right before he got that, and a bad opening drop for Zarconis. You do not like to see that. Voids the grenades there, but that's literally another empty drop. Back-to-back rockets, though, for Mr. Dino. When you don't have an orb, that's great to see.
He's going to pick it up, picks up a sleek 1999 Roadster while doing it, though.
Very nice.
Which, by the way, the Kelly Blue Book value on that sleek 1999 Roadster now?
What is it?
$1.98.
Where's Rip Taylor when you need him? Oh, no. Zarconis took a death. 424 going into Mutoid Man.
I'd buy that for $1.
Well, here's Rip Taylor. He's just known as Mutoid Man.
Right. That's a good comeback there, Sigma. Unfortunately, Zarconis really struggling here in tank trouble, and this is not what you want to have, especially as Mr. Dino gets the ball buster.
And he's hitting right in that spot below Mutoid's chin. That's where double damage occurs.
And the explosion means he's now going to be 34 seconds back. Definitely not out of the running, as Mr. Dino does get zapped by the tank there, but Zarconis needs to see a lot of spreaders and invulnerabilities chained up. That's a mistake right there. He grabbed the lobber before taking down the swirl. He does get a spreader, though.
Or was it?
Ha! A manipulative death there, but the problem is that spreader, or the swirl is still there, and he is picked off by the gunner again, and you hate to see it. It's a big lead right now for Mr. Dino. It's over a form and a half, I'd say.
No, I'll be honest. I thought he clipped the. I thought well, we might have to take a look at that because we might have had a swirl walker moment there for a second, because I could swear the swirl, he still had his vulnerability, but the swirl went through.
Interesting. You may be right. Oh, a spreader opportunity for Mr. Dino. That's a bad spot. Can he get there? No, he is blocked. 4, 3, 2, 1. Same level 5.
Level 530.
Level 530. This boss of Super Smash TV is the biggest run killer, and he is named Carface.
Scarface.
Ding! Charge! All right, enough of that.
On that note, Zarconis is gonna need to find his long shot. But they're on the same form, though.
Yeah, they're on the same form. Zarconis can get a spreader. It's a rocket. A spreader for Dino, but it's going to have to be manual as he gets to the final form here. Things looking good here for Mr. Dino. Zarconis needs a spreader now, and even then, it might be too late. But Dino is zapped. Final form for Zarconis, but
and he gets zapped.
Oh, no. Oh, this is going to come down to the wire here, Sigma. An empty drop. The game is trying to steal it from Dino. Will the spreader be enough for Mr. Dino? Oh, this is so close. This is so close.
No, not enough.
But he has to take down the Mr. Shrapnel, and he cannot take the death. It is Zarconis forcing the game number 5. Wow.
Whoa. What a comeback.
A 5.5 second victory versus Zarconis. What a comeback. He was way back there, and he comes all the way back as Dino gets sabotaged on the final form of Mutoid Man. And ladies and gentlemen, we go to a 5th. Yeah, Mr. Dino cannot be pleased about that Mutoid, man. That was over 3 minutes, according to his timings here on the matchup channel, Sigma. That was just getting trolled beyond belief right there.
Good luck.
This is going to get very exciting. Game 5, as both runners are readying up, and Cards is eagerly waiting to count down these two runners. This is very exciting, folks. The winner moves on to face either Ares Fire Tiger or Fire Broth. Whoever loses will unfortunately be eliminated.
Yeah, we've already had a reverse sweep in Tetsuo. Could we have our second reverse sweep of the tournament? We're about to find out in the next coming seconds here. Here we go, Sigma.
This is exciting, folks. Hold on to your butts.
All right, game number 5, the decider here for both of these runners. They both have their Razor Shield manipulations converted properly here. And we see that both of them are taking the middle route here.
MrDino had to take it a bit lower because there was a nuke right dead center.
Yeah, you never like to see that nuke. Trying to time the nuke perfectly. Yes, sir. And it is going to be a Mr. Dino hole shot, a considerable one at that.
Yep, he got lucky with the nuke.
It's a high 39 versus a high 41. A 2-second lead now for Mr. Dino going to collect power-ups. Let's see what the opening drop is going to be.
MrDino himself is going to get invulnerability, hope to find a better weapon. Zarconis has got himself a spreader. That's going to help out clearing up the room here. MrDino foot, then grenades. Just trying to find a better weapon. And speaking of, there's the orb for him.
Yep, finally got the weapon that he's looking for, but Zarconis right there with an orb of his own. He's getting a little bit overwhelmed, though. That was getting a little bit dicey there. Dino's okay with a 125. Zarconis, though, is right there with a 129. Just under a 4-second lead for Mr. Dino going into Eat My Shrapnel. Oh, that swirl. Oh, that swirl being pesky for Dino. Zarconis gets his shot. They're both okay.
Ooh, that was dicey on MrDino's part. He almost had that clipped. He almost had his orb clipped, I should say.
Yeah, that would have been very bad there because you don't want to go into total carnage without an orb. Rockets, that's a great closer there for Mr. Dino to finish up this room. Zarconis finally finishes up the foot soldiers, but he might have gotten that room a little overwhelmed. Yeah, he did. That's a little bit of a time penalty there on those Mr. Shrapnels. He's now about 4.5 seconds back. Not terrible, though. Rockets, that was what he had left over. Now going to pick up the spreader there. Knew that the orb was going to spawn at 2 o'clock, so he wasn't worried about getting that picked off.
And now it's just empty drops after empty drops right now for MrDino, but he's still keeping those firing lanes healthy. Rockets for Zarconis, that's going to catch him up a bit if he can keep his eye on the firing lanes. And a Razor Shield's going to help him out immensely. Meanwhile, MrDino, 2 back-to-back spreaders to help finish up the room.
Decent drops there for Dino, but better drops there for Zarconis with both the rockets and the Razor Shield, so there really is no telling at this point who's going to come out of total carnage first. Weapon quality would tell you Mr. Dino, but it's those good firing lanes, that last purple shirt being a pest, though, and it's a 306. Zarconis still several seconds back, and it's just better firing lanes for Mr. Dino. He was able to, successfully convert with what the game gave him and build that lead up to 9 seconds, Sigma.
Exactly right. And while we're on this nice little respite, follow both of these racers, MrDino023 and Zarconis. And why don't you give Cards a follow with all of his great content, and follow me when I just do whatever on Twitch.
Absolutely, and of course, don't forget, I saw you plugging that yesterday there. Oh, Mr. Dino losing the orb. I saw you plugged about that game show Gumbo. I'm a very big fan of that channel myself.
Thank you very much. New video is going to come out tomorrow. I did it because it was a little bit of good luck on my part, seeing as how I might be going out because Ladab was a good runner. Why don't I just shamelessly plug all the way through?
Why not? All right, Zarconis still has that orb healthy, but Mr. Dino riding the rocket train here, but Zarconis starting to get a little bit overwhelmed. Oh, and finally the green shirt takes away his orb as he had to get out of the way of that tank bullet.
And the rockets are just flowing for Mr. Dino. That's his third rocket drop, I think, out of 4.
426.
And it's gonna look like to be like a 4th. It's
40-something, I would imagine here. Yeah, losing that orb, but you know what? He kept the
Ooh.
damage. Oh, man, he gets picked up by the shrapnel to add insult to injury. So that's more of a time penalty there. So Zarconis, again, he's still in the running, but again, he's going to have to play catch-up, Sigma.
Well, he's done it before. I don't think he's even come into Mutoid with a lead throughout this entire match.
No, he's not. He's been trailing all 5 games. That's a long ways to go. I don't know about this one, Sigma. No, that's too far away.
No, almost had it there. He needed to die a little bit sooner, but there was nowhere to die.
Yeah, unfortunately there. Would have been a good player 2 spreader, but neither player is playing as player 2. We have Jackamus and Aquas, who are our runners that play as the player 2.
And once again, another player 2 spreader for Mr. Dino. Doing some good manualing there.
Yeah, he got quite a few shots on there. He's going to try to switch up to lobbers, but unfortunately, Mutoid Man once again trolling him, and oh, what a terrible time for a spreader there. Zarconis still had a pinch of invulnerability left, not able to take that death, and Zarconis going to have to try to manual this before he gets run over. And Mr. Dino already in the penultimate form. Things looking good for Mr. Dino. I don't want to prematurely call this one, but Mr. Dino's in the driver's seat. Zarconis sees a spreader, and he needs it right now. He gets it. He hesitated a little. I hope that doesn't come back to bite him. He gets it.
And he got lucky that Mutoid Man was able to come forward, did as much as he could.
Just might be too little too late, though. Dino does get an empty drop once again on the final form. Is he going to get sabotaged again? It's grenades. Will it be enough to finish the job? Zarconis approaching final form. It is enough to do the job, and Mr. Dino avoids the reverse sweep.
You see, Maple Leafs, that's how you win a decisive game at the end of the season.
I know exactly what you're talking about there. I've seen the story many, many times on Urinating Trees channel and the like. Zarconis put up a valiant effort being down 2-0, almost made the comeback happen, but was not able to get another shining comeback against Mutoid Man this time. Dino wins and will move on to the next round of the second chance bracket. And for Zarconis, it is the end of the road for him, a 25-second defeat.